Welcome back to another episode of Twisted News, where today we're checking out the strange disappearance of 6 people who have yet to be found and their connection to the controversial group known as the Grand Cosmic Rising Family. And then it's some creepy crawly coverage of a forensic scientist who uses bugs to help solve murders. Get ready for Scary Mysteries, Twisted News. Number 1. This is for the people of the sun. Near the St. Louis International Airport, at a home in Berkeley, Missouri, neighbors began witnessing some strange things over at a house that 25-year-old Michaela Wickerson was renting. She lived there with her 3-year-old daughter, Malaya, her cousin, 23-year-old Michaela Thompson, as well as 3 other individuals. 26-year-old Gabrielle German, her 3-year-old son Ashton, and a man, 29-year-old Naaman Williams. On a daily basis, the 6 of them would sit outside in the yard among the unmowed lawn, palms up to the sky as they appeared to be worshiping the sun in a meditative state. And while that isn't necessarily cause for alarm, it was odd behavior, and on top of that, they could be seen digging through the yard at times and burying coins, spending time hugging trees, and if it were raining out and the sun was behind the clouds, they'd all just strip naked and run around in full view of everyone. They had done this for a little bit, a couple weeks or so, and then one hot summer day in July, they stopped and were never seen by their neighbors or anyone for that matter again. The 6 had vanished without a trace from that house, leaving behind many of their possessions, and as police dug deeper, they believe they found the reason why. There is a connection between the 6 people who disappeared and a very polarizing man named Rashad Jamal, whose real last name is White. Rashad is a rapper and self-proclaimed New Age prophet who in today's digital age had amassed over 300,000 followers across all his social media accounts. While recently being imprisoned for 18 years for doing some bad things to a child, before that, he was running a website called the University of Cosmic Intelligence. And there, he focused on reaching out to racial minorities with his messages that revolved around exposing the truth behind the world and enlightening his followers. They'd touch upon topics such as aliens and the government, often using the hashtag @NowWeRise in social media posts. And this website offers lectures, podcasts, videos, books, and merchandise. And the actions of those 6 people out in their yard spoke of a profound detachment from reality that seemed to be fueled by the teachings of the University of Cosmic Intelligence. And this group calls planet Earth Chi and also refers to themselves as the Grand Cosmic Rising Family. And this would explain why all 6 of these people were living under one roof together. Cartisha Morgan, who is Michaela's mother, spoke about how all this didn't sound like anything the daughter she knew would normally be a part of. However, the investigation points to many pieces of evidence from the home they abandoned that showed they were in fact a part of this cosmic group. Cartisha did say that her daughter at times suffered from some mental issues, though she didn't specify what exactly, and that she did have bouts of postpartum depression. And these just so happen to be the exact types of traits that cult leaders look for when trying to recruit people into their world. If you ask Jamal if he is in fact a cult leader, he'll deny it. He spends his jail time as just a conspiracy by the powers to be to keep him locked away in order to stop him from spreading the truth. When asked specifically about the 6 people, he says he never met them before and doesn't know them by name, claiming that lots of people follow him and listen to his lectures, and there's so many that he just can't keep track. So as to what exactly happened to them is still a mystery. It's possible they just up and left and are somewhere living off the grid, but then again, maybe something much more sinister occurred that we have yet to discover. As the investigation continues, the families of the missing hold on to hope, but this digital cult shadow looms large. Modern tale of disappearance, belief, in the search for truth in the age of the internet. Number 2. The Bug Whisperer. From Australia, Dr. Paula Magni is a forensic scientist known for her innovative work in using forensic entomology, which is the study of insects and their developmental stages, to help solve crimes, and that includes murders. Her expertise lies in understanding how insects, particularly those found on decomposing bodies, can provide crucial information about the time and circumstances of death. This information can be pivotal in forensic investigations, aiding in the determination of the time of death and potentially linking certain suspects to crime scenes. Dr. Magni's work often involves analyzing the life cycles of insects found on corpses to estimate the post-mortem interval, which is the time elapsed since death. This method is based on the principle that certain insects colonize bodies in a predictable sequence, and the development stages can indicate how long a body has been decomposing. She's been involved in several notable forensic investigations, with one of her significant contributions being on the case of 16-year-old Federica Mangiapello from Italy. The young girl was found deceased outside in the woods by a cyclist one morning. Though she showed no major signs of trauma or foul play, her shoulder was dislocated, her jacket was halfway down her back, and her clothes and hair were wet, though it had rained the night before, so maybe that was it. The autopsy concluded that she had died of cardiac arrest around 4 hours before that cyclist found her, and that would have been the end of the case had her family not been so adamant that it didn't make sense that this otherwise healthy girl had just upped and died. One of the young police officers, who was actually in town, had very recently seen Magni do a lecture about her aquatic work, and so he thought maybe she could help in this case. Federica's 23-year-old boyfriend, Marco De Moro, had told his side of the story since he was the last person to be seen with the girl. He explained that they went to a Halloween party and had a fight where, on the way home at around 2 or 3 in the morning, he dropped her off at a supermarket in town near Lake Bracciano that was a few miles from the girl's home. There was circumstantial evidence they had against Marco that his story didn't really add up. For example, he said he went right home after dropping her off, but surveillance captured him a few hours later at a gas station filling up his car. And Federica's parents said Marco mistreated her, and that she was also going to break things off with him very soon. They didn't like him much at all and felt like he may have had something to do with her death. Marco said he had never been to Lake Bracciano that night, so Magni got a hold of the clothes he was wearing that evening, even though they had been washed. She took samples of the lake water and water from Marco's home so she could compare them, and after some testing, found many examples of tiny plankton from the lake water still on Marco's clothes. Federica's body was exhumed and tested again, and in her lungs and stomach, the same plankton. This tied her to the lake, being drowned by Marco that night, and as a result, he was then charged with murder in 2015 and is serving a 14-year sentence. Magni's contributions to forensic science extend beyond just cases like this one. She's a prominent figure in the field, known as Australia's Bug Whisperer, and has been recognized for her efforts to integrate a holistic approach to forensic investigations. Her work emphasizes the importance of understanding the role of nature, including insects and other small creatures, in solving murders, suspicious deaths, and cold cases. Magni's approach has not only aided law enforcement agencies worldwide, but has also made her a role model for aspiring scientists. So there were two of the strangest and odd stories that we have for you today. I'm Andrew, and I want to thank you so much for tuning in. If you like this and want more exclusive and darker content from us, consider checking us out on Patreon. There's also a whole library over there you get access to. Thanks again for all the support and for stopping by today. I'll see you all in the next one.